Hey, welcome back. I did an unboxing of this McNees 3.5. It's been in the package ever since. And yeah, a lot of people commented that it should be easier to thumb flick and that it's like one of the easiest ones in their collection. I did, spend a little time with it. It's loosened up a little bit, so you can certainly get yourself at the lock bar pressure, but as long as I don't have my finger on the lock bar, it's not bad. Knife's super solid, but apparently you should also be able to reverse flick it and stuff, as you can see here, really cannot. So some people said go ahead and loosen it up. So I'm going to mess around with it a little bit and we'll see if we get a little better result here. Once we do, so let's take a look. It looks like it may require a screw on either side. But we'll see, or a hex on either side rather. Looks like it is an 8 or a 10. I think it might be an 8. I always like to just check the biggest size first. Yeah, it's a 10. Because sometimes the smaller size will fit in there. Oh, wait, that's an 8. Sometimes the smaller size will fit in there, and then you'll think it's that size, and then it's not. So, anyways, go up to the 10. No. I'll even check a 9. Like I just saw a knife the other day that had a 9 on it for the first time. I hadn't seen that before. So let me just double check. It's not a 9. No, it is an 8. So let's get into it. And yeah, that is rotating the other side, I think. No, seems to not rotate the other side, which is nice. Okay, so now it's definitely looser, but too loose. I don't have an issue there. Let's see if it reverse flex now. No. You can see the bearings it's running on there. It's got a pretty good amount of space in there. I bet that gets kind of dirty. I'm not used to actually being able to see the bearing balls so easily. Okay. Let's just go ahead and see what is really going on here. I think this is the screw side. Okay. Surprisingly little lockup without the screw in there. That's amazing. And let's see if now that that's off. Okay, now I can reverse flick it. I cannot reverse flick it with my nail, which is kind of my go-to. I can with the meat of my middle finger. So anyways, let's put a little bit of, a couple people said oil it too, so I'll just put a little bit in there. Just take it all the way apart. Let's take it all the way apart. Everyone said take it all the way apart, so might as well. We've come this far. It looks super simple to do, so. Might as well get into it. And there it goes. I just felt the lock bar release. Super simple knife. Look how efficiently the blade, this is something I identified on the first video. Look how efficiently the blade fills up the handle. It's just so maxed out. I want to put this off nice and carefully. Super simple knife. Wow. Love the simplicity of this guy. That is really great. It looks pretty dry in there though. There's definitely like a little lubrication, but not much. So let's hit it real quick. Okay. Should be good on that side. Just see if the detent falls anything in it. Looks fine. Okay. Then we'll get a tad of lubricant here. And let me just remind myself which direction the bearing was, because I just forgot. I think it was, yeah, okay. I don't think it really matters too much. Someone could actually weigh in on the comments if it does, but this one is closed side to the knife, at least from the factory. Okay. And, you know, while we're at it, this one feels like it shouldn't be too hard to just do this way, so let's do that. Quite easy to put it back together. Sometimes it's hard to like get everything lined up and get the lock bar right. So I love the serviceability of this knife. This is perhaps the easiest knife I've ever worked on. It might be. I cannot think of one that was easier, especially in this kind of echelon. I mean, Rockstead's actually surprisingly easy. That is spinning though, so that is a little annoying there. So let me get this back in there. This is going to be a little annoying. I might have to take back my words just there. Oh, I'm putting this in the wrong place. This shouldn't be too bad if I go like that and then flip it over. It should be pretty easy to do actually. User error again, one of my favorite themes for the channel. Okay. Actually quite easy to work on. It is an exposed screw on that side, which is interesting. A lot of manufacturers don't show the screw through on the other side, so I'm kind of curious why they chose to do that. It's not a problem, but it's an interesting choice, we'll just say. And then let's I think as long as you put your thumb on the other screw, it doesn't seem to pivot too much there. Get it nice and tight, and then I'll back off and then get it where it needs to be. Just cycle through it a few times. So look, maybe the knife doesn't have an issue, but I do still find that like annoying that it comes from the factory like that. This is not fully seated yet. This is a a brand new knife, so it really shouldn't have that problem. Okay, nice and centered. Solid lockup. Maybe be a little looser. Solid lockup. Nice and drop shut. Still no reverse flick. See how loose I can go on this while still getting good lockup. fires out awesome now on the thumb. Just cycle this a few times here. Get all that lubricant shared around. Feels pretty nice. Detent feels good. Okay, it's pretty drop shut now. Lock up. A little more needed. Okay. That's total drop shut. Good lockup. Total drop shut. Okay. How about the reverse flick? Only with the meat. Can't do it with the fingernail, which is my typical go-to, but the meat works great. So maybe that's my inspiration to start doing my reverse flicks correctly. But that's definitely, I mean, it's just hard to get in there. So you really have to use the meat of your finger. The thumb stud does stick up a little bit, so you can get to it. But I'd say not a great knife still on the reverse flick. Can be done, clearly. Just not as easily as some knives. So yeah, good knife. I like it more now. Appreciate the feedback on it for sure, because you don't want to judge the knife too much. Sometimes I can tell when I get them and I work on them, because it's just kind of obvious that they're not tuned right. This one didn't feel obvious, so I didn't think to make the adjustments, but they made the impact, so that's great. Appreciate that, and it's good to know what this knife is actually supposed to be like. Now, I've heard some interesting feedback, and not universally, but like on occasion, about the quality control on these knives. And I'd say, you know, this is potentially an example of that. Hard to say, but I mean, now it feels great, right? So quality control, you know, that's one of the things that Daniel Osborne at Roosevelt talks a lot about, is that the majority of the time is spent after machining on the assembly and tuning of the knife. And I think that's a super important aspect of, you know, making sure that the customer has a really good experience. So there you go. 2.0. I'm going to drop this one immediately. I just did this morning after dropping the video, and I'll get it up on YouTube right away so that there's that additional insight. So thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.